artists, you should have watched the previous video which goes over the introduction to Zentangles. In this video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to make your own Zentangle in case you missed out on Zoom yesterday. So first you need to grab your materials, which are going to be drawing tools like a pen, a marker, or a pencil. You also need a sheet of paper, something to draw on. If you don't have paper, grab a piece of cardboard, grab the back of a worksheet, a piece of mail, anything that you have around you. And then finally, you need a ruler or some objects to trace with. Now, you're probably wondering, what? Objects to trace with? Don't worry, I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. Now that you have your items, let's take a look and see how we get started. So the reason you were asked to grab a ruler is so that way you can use this to make some straight lines, some diagonal lines, some up and down lines, or we call those vertical lines, side to side lines like horizontal lines. What you're going to be doing is separating your paper into different sections using your ruler. You don't have a ruler, you could just draw the lines. It's okay if it's not completely straight. It's okay if it's not perfect, because these Zentangles do not require them to be too perfect when we do the template. I'm also grabbing something around me, like a little, I think it's called Pop-It or fidget toy, and I'm going to use this to start tracing circles on my page. So if you're wondering, how did you get those really good circles? It's because I'm using something to help me. And it's okay, again, if it's not perfect. You could grab the bottom of a soda, the lid of a pickle jar, anything that you have around you to make these type of lines and shapes. Here's some more examples. So on this one, I did this during class with some other students. Again, I used my Pop-It toy, but I also use other things around me. Like for instance, I have this box of staples I used. I also use my eraser, my sponge, right? So all we're needing to do is create this template. Okay? Once you have that template ready, now it's time to start adding your Zentangles. Okay? Now, if you're like, what do I do for my patterns? We have this worksheet in today's presentation. It's also in the video that you watched previously. And let me also show you where you can find this. So inside of Schoology, it also says copy of today's presentation, Zentangles. And if I scroll down past the introduction, here's some examples. So what I want you to do now on your paper is to take your time, look for patterns around you, but also create your own patterns. And don't give up. I don't want to hear, Miss, I can't do it. You just have to try. Anybody can do this. Add lines and patterns to your paper, but think about space, right? Think about your use of space. Remember the artists that we looked at in the video, like Mahi Abdul, who specializes in Zentangles. We also looked at Bisa Butler, who uses different separations of patterns in her artwork. Wasily Kandinsky, who we've seen before, uses lines mostly in shapes, simple shapes. As well as Keith Haring, who we learned about, that uses different made-up symbols and numbers and letters, as well as designs that he creates in his artwork. So again, please make sure that you are taking your time. There's no wrong way to make a Zentangle. You could do wavy lines, zigzag lines, a different variation of lines. You can make your Zentangle into something, but just try your hardest, everyone. See how many different types that you can draw. Okay? The reason that we are doing this project also is because we are preparing our last project of the last 9 weeks, which looks similar to this. Let me show you. For our last project, we're going to be using our knowledge and skills of Zentangle to create crazy hairstyles for different celebrities. For example, I chose Bad Bunny, Mala Conejo for my artwork. We also see Rihanna down here at the bottom. This will be an assignment that we will do before we go on spring break, and it will be due the week before we go on spring break. It will be your last project. You could decide to do it on the computer, or you could do it on paper. If you don't have a printer, you could find an old magazine. You could even do it to yourself, find a picture of yourself. There's so many different ways. But today, what I want you to mostly focus on is just getting as many Zentangles into your template as possible. Good luck, artists. Feel free to message me if you have any questions. See you soon.